So in the readings today, I gleaned from those a message. Mercy is our corporate image. Mercy is our corporate image. So what is our image? What do people think about us? What do others say about the Catholic Church? What do others think about our church in Oregon? What do people think about our parish here on 148th and Division? What do our friends that are not Catholic think about you? What image do you portray to others? And I'll offer to you that Christ's life in the Scriptures tells us that mercy should be our image. You know, others might think that it's our Catholic teaching and our social teachings that could be our image. So they think, well, Catholics, they believe that the actual presence of Christ in the Eucharist, that's our image to some people. Or perhaps they think about our moral teachings. Says, oh, they're the ones that think that sex is not allowed before marriage. That's our image. And all these observations are good and well, but we look at Christ's life and we see that mercy is our corporate image. That is what we want to portray to others. And so, from our readings today, the first reading, we see that the Israelites, as we've seen a lot of times in Old Testament, the Israelites are denying God, they are abandoning God for their own ways and the new idols. But the mercy of God, God does not abandon them. Whatever what they do, what the Israelites do, God does not abandon them. And that's true in our own lives too. Whatever we do, God does not abandon us. That's the mercy of God. That's what we learn from our readings, and that's what we should be practicing. And also in Deuteronomy, we see Moses talks about the law is not far from your lips. The law is written on your heart. And that's mercy. So we know what to do. We know how to do mercy because the law is written on our hearts. And so that's not difficult for us to figure out. That's mercy when we know what to do. Because, the image that you portray is going to be very important in how others view you. And when they view you, they're going to view the Catholic Church because you are a representative, right? And so, corporations, they're always very interested in their image. You think about the big corporations and how much money they spend on their image. Think about Nordstrom's image of customer service, or we think about Chevy or Ford and their image of America Pride. Think about Nike, their image of quality products and the sportsmanship, because we see the Nike swoosh on every piece of apparel that the athletes wear. These images are very important for these corporations. And how much more so should it be for us as Catholics, as Christians? How much more should we have an image of mercy? So yesterday I was talking to the parents of the to-be newly baptized children, and one very important thing that I talked about many things, but one thing I talked about was our image of being a light in the world. It's through baptism that we receive the light of Christ. And through that light of Christ, we are to be that in a dark world. And how can you be that light in a dark world if your image is not very good? And so I was talking to the parents, and what you teach your children and how they grow up, you talk about how they're or how they're seen in the communities that they live in. We've got to teach our children that you are a light for a dark world. And so your image has to match that. You have to act like you are a light in a dark world. And also we read in Psalm 69, the one crying out for help, to alleviate his pain, is confident in God's kingdom. Excuse me. And the promises of what's to come. And the Lord hears the poor. The Lord hears the cry of the poor because mercy is our corporate image. And then the gospel today with the story of the Samaritan. God has shown us the mercy that we show the one in pain. The one on the side of the road in pain. And we see that God does not have any biases or discrimination against this person. It doesn't matter who this person is. The person is in pain, deserves mercy. Now there was the priest and the Levite who walked on the other side of the street. When they saw the person in pain, they walked on the other side of the street. Now, the reason they walk on their side of the street is because they would be unclean if they went over and touched the victim. And so they walked over on the other side of the street to avoid that, to be unclean, to be clean. Now, how often in our lives do we cross on the other side of the road? How often do we do that? When we see someone in pain, do we go to them, give them mercy? The Samaritan, it's very important that we see the Samaritan, because the Israelites really despise the Samaritans. And so Jesus' example is that here we have this Samaritan who everyone despises, so he is showing mercy to the victims. And how important that is for us to learn that whoever the victim is, doesn't matter to God. God will show that mercy to that victim. And we're called to do the same thing. No matter what the victim is, who he is, where he comes from, his ethnicity, his religion, the person in pain needs our mercy. And so what is our image here on 148th and Division? What is the image that we portray to people outside? What do they see here? And all the programs that we provide in the community and how we are out doing our services, how we are perceived. The programs that we provide, mercy is embedded in the programs. And so if I'm serving the poor at a soup kitchen or giving away furniture in our furniture program, mercy is embedded in that program because I am serving the poor. However, as a servant, am I showing mercy to that person? Sure, I am helping serve a meal to the poor, but do I have mercy in my heart when I'm doing that? Or am I doing it for different reasons? Am I doing it because I want to be seen as a good person? Or I have a service to do, and I'm just doing it out of habit? Does mercy come from the heart? That's where mercy has to start. And many times, we serve other purposes. So let me give you an example. So we have our furniture and household good giveaway program, and the second and fourth Saturday from 12 to 2. And I mention the hours because it's important to my story. Because at 2 o'clock, about 2 weeks ago, thank you, Deacon. We can edit that out, though, Jim. No. Thank you. Have mercy on me, please. So 2 weeks ago, it was around 2 o'clock, and Sharon came in. I'll change her name. Sharon came in about 2 o'clock. And we served her. We did serve her needs. We gave her some furniture and some household goods. But you know what? At 2 o'clock, I was ready to move on. I was a little bit impatient. I wanted to get on to the next thing. I wanted to get something to eat. And so, although I did serve Sharon, I didn't do it from the heart. I just did it to get on to the next thing. And where is the mercy in that? It was a little while later that Sharon came back and we found more time for her. And I did give her a lot of stuff, went to her house, and you know, we found out more about who she was, who Sharon was. It was not just somebody that I needed to serve. She was a real person in real need. She's a person lay on the road that was in pain, that needed someone to walk over to her side of the street. And I did so reluctantly. But now, I saw her house, government-subsidized housing. Everything that she had in her house came from our program. She had nothing. The forks, the spoons, the plates, the chair, the bed, everything that she had came from us. She left a very violent domestic situation that I had no knowledge about, that she was in a lot of pain. She had 3 children. She had to move quickly. She had nothing to carry to this new place. Very abused. Her boy is dying. We didn't see the boy. He's in the hospital a lot. We didn't see him. We prayed with her. We cried with her. Mercy came from the heart. Once we figured out who she was and the pain that she was in, we could really serve her now. Mercy comes from the heart. That's the image that we want here at St. Joseph the Worker on 148th Division. We want people in our neighborhood, we want our neighbors, we want our friends that don't know us, that don't know that they're not Catholic. We want our image to be that of mercy. And it will be if it comes from the heart. If you're just serving out of some other need or requirements, then you're just a good person, which is fine, but our image is mercy. To finish the Good Samaritan story, the scribe, his first question to Jesus was, "How do I obtain eternal salvation?" And Jesus gave him a twofold answer. Well, you love God and you love your neighbor. But the scribe pushed him a little further. Jesus told him, if you want eternal salvation, you be God's mercy in the world.